Which is better for you, regular peanut butter or low fat? Good morning, Coach Kelly here with an encouraging word. And that's the question I left you with at the end of my last video in this series on misleading marketing practices used by food manufacturers to manipulate us in our buying decisions. So how many of you like peanut butter? I think a good old-fashioned peanut butter and jelly sandwich with cold milk is one of the greatest creations known to man. Now, how many of you think that peanut butter is high in protein? Now, most people will say yes, and yet it's simply not true. Peanut butter is a legume. It's a bean that mirrors a nut's macronutrients. Nutritionally, it contains far more fat than protein. So let's do the math for those who don't believe me. 1 2 tablespoon serving contains 190 calories, 16 grams of fat, and 7 grams of protein. Now, at first glance, you might think it has twice as much fat as protein, but that's not the whole story. Remember, fat has 9 calories per gram, while protein only has 4. With 16 grams of fat at 9 calories per gram, one serving contains 144 calories from fat, or 76%. Protein is roughly only 15%. Now, don't get me wrong. Peanut butter tastes great and can play a part in a balanced and healthy nutrition plan. Just remember to consider it a fat that is highly calorically dense, not a protein. So let's examine the differences between regular peanut butter and the reduced fat version. The serving size is essentially the same and the calories are identical. Now that should raise a red flag immediately. If the product is reduced fat, you would think there would be a caloric reduction, right? In truth, the fat has gone from 76% to 57%, which meets the requirements to be considered reduced fat by the food industry's definition. My concern is what happens with the carbohydrates. Regular peanut butter has 8 grams of carbs per serving, which equates to 17%. The reduced fat version has 15 grams of carbs, or almost 32%. It's essentially double. My concern again is how this product is promoted. Yes, it contains less fat, but the manufacturer replaced it with sugar. The calories are identical, and to say that this is an improvement over the original is questionable. The original version contains peanuts, sugar, molasses, and vegetable oils for added flavor. The reduced fat version contains peanuts, corn syrup, solids, pea protein, vegetable oils, and an extended list of other ingredients. The reduced fat traded in regular sugar and replaced it with corn syrup solids, making a much more highly processed food. While it's debatable which is worse, I simply recommend to all my clients to go with an all-natural peanut butter like Smucker's, where when you look at the ingredients, it contains peanuts and salt. That's it. Peanut butter is already high in calories without adding extra fat and sugar. So the last point I want to make is how the totals for each macronutrient are equated to a percentage of daily value versus just the serving size itself. Now, you might not think it's a big deal. However, it's all in the perception. And here's the difference. The percentage given for a 2 tablespoon serving containing 16 grams of fat is 21%. Well, 21% of what? As recent as only a few years ago, you could see a 2,000 calorie suggested day for the average person. The 21-gram serving is 21% of the recommended 65-gram fat limit for a diet containing 2,000 calories. So which looks better? 21%, which is based on an average total caloric intake, or to say this food is 75% fat per serving. These labels explaining the percentage of daily value have largely been removed from peanut butter, yet the percentage of daily value numbers remain, adding to the confusion and deception. The whole reason for promoting fat as a percentage of a daily recommended number is because it makes the food look lower in fat. Why not just be straightforward and say regular peanut butter is about 75% fat? The answer is obvious. And this is another example of food manufacturers going to great lengths to hide fat content. Our nation is facing an obesity epidemic. And a big part of the problem is that the food industry is misleading consumers with its manipulative and misleading advertising and promotional tactics. I hope this helps and adds another layer of understanding to deciphering food nutrition labels. If you have any questions, please reach out and I promise to reply. For next time, consider this. How can a food claim to be sugar-free when in fact It contains an ingredient with equal calories and is potentially more detrimental to your health.